Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, they say, but it kind of gets the least amount of love. Seems like we always want to have it fast, whether it's a drive-thru or a diner, but Austin has a way of rising to the challenge with 3 breakfast spots that any Austinite can squeeze into their busy day, even a booked-up Sunday fun day. When it comes to breakfast, you can't go wrong with a Southern staple. Bird Biscuit is a passion of Chef Brian Batch, and technically an offshoot that took over the original concept, Thunderbird Coffee. So shout out to you Austin foodies if you know about that one. How are you, Brian?
I'm doing really well. How about yourself?
I'm good, dude. So I got to tell you, I literally have been telling people I walk past Bird Biscuit every day. I don't stop because I would weigh 300 pounds. I think that's fair to say because I'm someone who's a bit gluttonous. But I have seen, especially literally over the last 2 years, the lines, the crowds have just really become quite massive. But walk me through how Bird Biscuit came to be, because this is your baby bird.
Yeah, I mean, so, I started off, like you mentioned, at Thunderbird Coffee, and that's where I met my business partner, who I think Ryan. And, I worked there for 10 years, and after 10 years, I think Ryan saw that I was still around and saw that I was dedicated, and then came to me and he was like, hey, do you want to start a business together? And man, we traveled around and saw a bunch of different concepts, and, we wanted to bring something back to Austin that was unique and also keep it simple. Mm-hmm. And through that process, that's kind of how Bird came to be, man.
But you knew you were going to do a biscuit, but you had to do the right biscuit. So what is the secret to making the biscuit that has literally, you're building a little empire here. You've got a couple locations now. So tell me about that. The secret to making a great biscuit.
Man, it's been super cool. So, I'll give you as much as I can without giving away the
yeah,
the whole
I understand.
thing. We make biscuits now in a way that is not at all the way that we were shown or the way we were taught, but we learned how to get what we want to get out of a biscuit, which is a nice crust on the outside while still being light and fluffy and holding up the integrity to make a sandwich, which for us is what we go for a great biscuit. Because we put sandwiches on them, we put chicken in it, we stuff them with stuff, so they got to hold up. So that's what we look for a great biscuit. Temperature is everything, but we've dabbled dramatically with what that variable looks like in our process. I'll say that. And that has caused us to, I think, stumble across something that is highly efficient and makes a really good product.
What is the secret sauce to maintaining the structure of the biscuit, but it's still a rich bite? And how long did it take for you to land on your biscuit recipe?
For sure. So I would say, to answer that first question, it's all about the way that you allow that fat to integrate into the dry while not creating too much moisture in the dry, so that when you get the bake, you can get this really nice balance of the way that the moisture causes that, that kind of stickiness in the dough, but also you get the caramelization of still having some of those particle sizes that when you bake them, they'll stay and melt into the flour and actually cook, so that you get the crust as well. And that's where I think we've really thought about and dialed in how to get that blend.
How do I choose my breakfast? Do I do the traditional breakfast route, like bacon, egg, and cheese? Or do I just commit to fried chicken as breakfast?
That's like asking me to choose your life partner. You know what I mean? I don't know that I can do that for you.
Okay.
I think that the chicken is what we've become known for. When we originally opened Bird, we thought we were going to be a breakfast sandwich spot, more so pushing into the egg sandwiches. Mm-hmm. But it turned out that what has resonated with people largely is this idea of a fried chicken biscuit. And so I would say that if you come to Bird and you've never had our chicken biscuit, I say go for it, man. Even if it's 8 a.m., I kind of would say go for it.
We know how you make your biscuit sing. How do you make your fried chicken sing?
We have worked intensely on getting the concentration of our brine to the point to where we've tried to put as much flavor in the product as we can without having it be out of balance. Mm-hmm. And so we've spent a ton of attention on that. Then when it comes to our dredge process, That's been a journey. So we used to just have flour in our dredge, and now we've found this really beautiful balance of like flour, panko, and then like, you know, should I give this away? I'll give it away, whatever. We basically take our biscuits now, and when we have leftover biscuits,
No way.
we
No.
process it down into breadcrumbs, and we also incorporate that into our dredge. And so that's a whole nother dynamic now that's given us, and they're all different particle sizes, right? So you have the
Right.
flour, panko, but then we leave the biscuit crumbs a little bit more large. And so like when you mix all that together, it really does create this super powerful, like crunchy texture on the chicken that speaks for itself.
What is a Firebird?
That chicken is our regular chicken, but then we have this spice that's a mixture of Cajun powder and cayenne. And we basically take that and we spice the chicken with that. And then we give it a little glaze with oil to kind of like, we don't dunk it because like when we tried that, it lost the integrity and kind of fell apart. So we give it glaze with a little bit of a spray to make it have that mouthfeel. And that's the Firebird.
Oh my God. What is the most over-the-top order you've received at Bird Biscuit? Build it out for me.
Oh man, so I would say that's probably somebody who would get like a Firebird and add bacon to it, and then add an over medium egg as well, and then put like some gravy on it. Like that's like a ridiculous sandwich, but in the best possible way.
I probably can guess the answer, but you know, we'll throw it out there anyways. If you could only get one breakfast carb in Austin, biscuit or tortilla, what's it going to be?
Dude, if you get Veracruz, their migas like super fresh. Dude, I think the Veracruz migas is like slamming.
I'm assuming you're team flour in this instance.
Yeah, man, and like for sure, I'm team flour. And when you get those crispies really like fresh, when they don't like wrap it up in the foil and have it lose its texture, dude. When you get that sucker like fresh, dude, it slaps, man. It's real nice.
I'm gonna throw this out there for you too, because we want to end on a true bird note. Just a little idea from a foodie to a chef. How about biscuit migas?
That'd be delicious.
Right? Right?
Man. Bro, you could even like kind of make a take on like a biscuit and gravy migas. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. I need to be bad. So I'll be at Bird very soon. Brian, thanks so much for being here, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity to vibe with you.
La Santa Barbacha, whose specialty is serving barbacoa, an ancient cooking technique where meat, in this case beef, is slowly cooked until meltingly tender. Rosa de Lima Hernandez Landaverde literally grew up on barbacoa, where it was a family tradition that has now turned into my favorite breakfast taco in town, hand to God. Hola Rosa, ¿cómo está?
Hola a todos. Hola Austin. Hello everybody. I'm here, Rosa from La Santa Barbacha. Very happy and thank you, Ali, for the opportunity.
Walk me through how La Santa came to be from your dad, making barbacoa after church, to a taco restaurant that has literally made the Michelin Guide.
Oh, it's so exciting. I have too many feelings when I have to answer this question, but I am so grateful. I am so excited for what is next in La Santa Barbacha and then Austin. Yes, I grew up helping my dad, and barbacoa was always part of our meal, our party, our Christmas. Every celebration we used to have in Mexico was barbacoa, the main dish. That is more than a taco. That is, we are expressing our history, our culture.
First time at La Santa Barbacha for breakfast, because we are talking about breakfast tacos here. What should someone order?
So we have the three most popular tacos, which is migas, breakfast taco, and potatoes. My personal favorite one is potatoes barbacoa taco. You can have the barbacoa and avocado in a homemade corn tortilla that we just make at the moment you place the order. Same thing with eggs. I feel like it's the best thing you can get in the morning. You can pair this with coffee, a good cold brew, or just some juices, anything you would love to.
Let's talk about the actual barbacoa. I mean, this is a dish that could be had for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Describe the process you use, this family recipe from Mexico, Guanajuato, Mexico, correct?
Yes. So right now we're braising basically the beef. We use maguey, we use spices from Mexico, like the garlic
Which
and
are
stuff like that.
leaves, correct?
Yes, all
The
the
maguey
leaves,
leaves.
everything we get it from Mexico, and then we have a long process since we cut the meats and we marinate it and we put it all together, and then we cook it for 5 hours, and how we like take care of the juices and how we can like preheat them and things like that is a whole process. We are very consistent in what we do, so every single day you have fresh barbacoa. You don't have to be worried about. Like we are always like on top of that. So to make a great barbacoa right now in Austin, it has to be with a good protein, with the good ingredients. Of course, follow all the recipe and the process that we use. And yes, so we make it affordable that you can have it in a breakfast taco, you can have it in a quesadilla, and just make it part of your day by day.
Right, and then you're obviously barbacoa could be literally cooking any part of the animal. You're choosing, the chuck roast, the shoulder. You're getting a cut where people are maybe getting less of the funky stuff, if you will. And then when you're cooking it slowly, and it's almost like this combination of roasting, but with the maguey leaves, it also is a bit of a steaming process. And
Yes.
and I know you brought this up, but traditionally this is done underground, like you dig a hole and then you create this underground oven, but because of the city you have to do it a more conventional way up to
Yeah.
their codes. But
And
that's the dream, is to do it the old school way, the way you were brought up,
that's
correct?
the dream. And
Got it.
we have right now the food trucks, but we're working on the way that we can create this and make it happen the closest way that we did it in Mexico,
The
and
traditional.
then make people part of the process.
The taco gets more work. I mean, these are beautiful looking tacos. The tortillas can be red or green. The eggs are bright yellow, and then there's the bright green and orange salsa. Tell me about that. How do you get these tortillas to be red and green? Tell me about the salsas, and how on earth do you cut those avocados so perfectly?
Every single item we have is made from our heart, and then it's kind of, or we realize that it's a piece of art. So every single taco is just an opportunity to create a nice and beautiful memory to a customer. We wanted to do some bright tacos because also the colors that represent our country. So that's why it was the green, the red, and the yellow. Every single morning we integrate the beets into the masa, so it has to be bright.
So it's
And then the
beets. You
masa,
put beets in there.
yeah, beets, original beets, and or fresh and things like that. So we put it on the masa, but we cannot have it for a long time. So it leaves a little bit because if
Oh.
you keep it long, it gets more
It's
darker.
extra
So
perishable. The green tortillas, what makes the tortillas green?
we integrate the spinach as well, same thing. So
Spinach.
fresh.
So you're literally putting in beets for the red tortillas and then spinach for the green tortillas. This doesn't sound traditional, Rosa.
I know, but we wanted to keep it a little bit healthy too,
I
and
love it.
then bright and happy, and a little bit of future as well. So it's like, okay, I know we're very like people will remember this memory. It will remember this as little change we make.
I think the draw of La Santa Barbacha is that it literally tastes as beautiful as it looks, and we do eat with our eyes first. But I have one last final thing for you, and I'm very curious on the answer. We like to do a hot take here for Best Eats in Austin. So my hot take question for you, Rosa, is hot take on tortilla, corn or flour? You gotta pick
Don't
one.
ask me. I would say corn. My grandpa, they always had the milpa every single time we grew up on corn. And I literally remember everything from that and from the next tamal and everything.
To hear you talk about it is literally talking about how you survived. It's so important to literally your survival. It's not some idea, it is a continual practice. Congratulations on all the success. I know it's really, you haven't been around that long. You've made such a splash, such an impact. Austin, Texas, these are the breakfast tacos to get. Rosa, thank you so much.
Thank you, Austin. Thank you, Albert, the invitation.
Poeta is technically brunch. The all-day cafe is from chefs Crystal Craig and Ian Thurwachter, the duo behind farm-to-table Italian restaurant Intero, a fave among critics and diehard foodies alike. But Poeta, their breakfast all-day concept, actually took a hiatus. But good news, folks, it's back. Their brunch menu leans equally on Chef Crystal's pastry skills and Chef Ian's love for Italian. But seeing is believing, and I'm happy to just look at the food and let Chefs Crystal and Ian take over the talking. I've said so much. How are you guys?
Doing well, doing well. Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you.
And just so the folks know, offline we were chatting, and Ian, you said you had sawdust on your feet, and that's because I think you're hard at work with essentially the relaunch of Poeta. You want to talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah, that is correct. We are relaunching Poeta. This is third time's the charm.
3.0.
I'm into it. I'm into it.
Yeah.
I mean, you had such success with Intero. That seems like such a big W, a big win. Why do an all-day cafe?
That would definitely be on me. I am one of those people that I love brunch and I love all day dining options. And so we wanted to be able to do what we don't do with Intero. And coming to Ian and saying, hey, we're going to do Italian again, but this time it's going to be all the foods that I want to eat all day long. And he was a good sport about it.
She also loves inclusivity. So, you know, being able to offer something that is more approachable to the general public, at all times of the day is really, really cool.
The first time I'm at Poeta for brunch, what do I have to get? And let's assume I'm bringing me, my wife, and another couple. So we could maybe be, we can order a few things.
Well, if I remember correctly, the first time you pretty much ordered everything. So that's a good place to start.
I definitely, we're both those types of people that when we go out to eat anywhere new, we do love to get almost everything on the menu and share just because we like to try everything. But if that's not maybe your cup of tea, I would definitely say just go for some of the bigger dishes that you still could share. Absolutely the waffle-gatto.
The waffle-gatto for sure.
You could start with
There's
that.
a couple other heavy hitters. Always dessert first. The arancini is definitely something, a crowd favorite that you really can't find anywhere else.
So good.
It's crispy little risotto balls with tomato butter and poached eggs and some beef confit that's been slow cooked for hours and hours.
I also get
it's
the
pretty
vegetarian
epic.
Option.
Yes, and we do vegetarian options. That's another big part of the accessibility, the inclusivity that we're talking about is we do a lot of modifications for dietary restrictions like vegetarians, gluten-free, dairy-free. You know, we want people to be able to come in and really experience what they would be able to if they didn't have dietary restrictions.
Even the waffle-gatto, you can get, we worked really hard to do a gluten-free waffle recipe so that you can get that even if you need that.
It's pretty amazing, actually. It's better than most, gluten waffles.
Can you explain the waffle-gatto? Because it is a looker to say the least.
It was very funny when we wanted to do the brunch thing and, I was like, well, here's partially why. It's because I, one, love affogatos, but two, I love waffles. And even though people are going to say, what is Italian about that? But it's an affogato. It's gelato and all the espresso you want. just with, like it's waffle. Again, dessert first person. I love waffles. There's something about the texture of them and then just each little pocket gathering all the syrup. So having it also gather gelato and espresso, it's great. It's like a really good win-win on having something that's carby, but also a fun pick-me-up.
Shooting from the hip here, you've got a frittata.
Yes, we are working on a frittata for sure.
Can you
I
explain
love
the
frittata.
difference between frittata and omelet, and of course why a frittata is better than an omelet? 'Cause the egg nerd in me is coming out.
Well, I think frittata is just, first of all, it's more substantial, it's more shareable. I love frittatas. If I'm doing like a brunch potluck or something, I almost always bring a frittata. And the sky's the limit as far as what you can add. You can go kind of more of a Spanish tortilla route with the potatoes, or you can go like a, kind of Italian Fiorentine route with spinach and tomatoes and that sort of thing. And it's fluffy, it's crispy around the edges. It's just like, it's a quiche, but without the crust, because we don't want the crust. We just want the yummy eggs,
Ugh, that makes
And
me
it
hungry.
basically is an omelet that you don't fold, right? I mean, that's like the kind of the best way to describe it for the layman, if you will.
Yeah, it's a big baked omelet, effectively.
Hot take, and I got to get it from both of you, from each of you.
Yeah.
Could be different. It could be different. Hot
I
take.
think it might be.
It
What?
probably will.
The ultimate Sunday fun day brunch bet. Is it Bloody Mary? Is it a mimosa? Or is it something I have not mentioned yet? Ian, I'm going to start with you.
All right, here's my hot take. Not a Bloody Mary, Bloody Maria. It's healthy. It's good for you. It's got vitamins. It's got vegetables. It's got a little salt, help you rehydrate, get your electrolytes in. Like, it's the perfect way to start a day.
I am probably more of a mimosa person, but even more so of a grapefruit person. So if I have my way, I'm always going to order grapefruit with Prosecco and, anything else that you'll give me with that. I like light and bright.
I mean, I'm fired up. I know Poeta is soon to be open too. I'm going to be there with bells on in 2026. Chef Ian and Crystal, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Allie.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
If you like watching these Best Eats Austin clips, you can see a whole lot more by downloading the KXAN Plus app for your smart TV, Roku, or Fire Stick. Go check it out and see all of our Best Eats Austin episodes and a whole lot more.